You said your sister or your brother has Down syndrome?
My sister.
Older sister.
Heather.
Older sister.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wanted to ask you questions. We did an RPR episode a while back about this. Have you seen the Victoria's Secret model with Down syndrome?
Yeah. Yes.
How do you feel about that personally?
Yeah, just for context, most people don't have any kind of close relationship with somebody
Correct.
that has Down syndrome, so they don't know how much agency a person might have, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's a good conversation to have. People just get weird about it.
Yep. I was personally very ecstatic about it. I thought it was great, but I do understand the hesitation on it, that some people who maybe don't have the connection with somebody with Down syndrome,
Right.
and then feeling like, she's in a bathing suit and, is this appropriate for me to look at? I get it, but I think it's a pretty cool step forward for something that some countries try and eradicate.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the part that makes people uncomfortable is the question: is this woman being taken advantage of in some way, right?
And full disclosure here, on the episode that I chatted about it on, I wasn't amped about it because it did not appear to me that she could make these decisions for herself. But obviously, you have a way closer connection than I do. I have a cousin with Down syndrome, but you were personally with somebody with Down syndrome every single day. So you were happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, could there be some motive in the background from family members? Possibly, but I do know, like, my sister will be out to eat somewhere, and I might get recognized, and they'll know my sister because I, put her up on the internet a lot, and I give her the choice if she wants to take a picture with the fans or not, and it's same with Nate. They are very independent, and if you don't want to force them to do anything they don't want to do, and they're pretty vocal about not being comfortable with something. So,
okay,
I would say that's probably the most for them for the most part, unless they're nonverbal or something.
Yeah.
But she seemed pretty high functioning, so I never questioned much about it. I thought it was great that they were putting Down syndrome in the face of a lot of people.
So would you say, I don't know how much experience you have with autism. I'm very high functioning, especially now after years of treatment shit, but there's a pretty wide range of that, right? Like there's a very large subset of people who have no social skills whatsoever. Like even like just basic eye contact and communicating and communicating verbally or non-verbally can't do it. So is it the same with Down syndrome? There's people that are, I mean, clearly there's going to be degrees, but is it like a spectrum like that?
Yes. And I can't give you the technical terms off the top of my head, but anybody that's has mosaic Down syndrome, those are the highest functioning. And basically it's just mostly facial features, but everything else is pretty normal.
Right.
So, and then you have your ones that are very severe and they can't communicate. They, need a lot of attention.
Yeah, but I mean, clearly, it seems weird that we're still so weird about this, and that people still have. I wouldn't call it prejudices; it's just ignorance towards that situation. Because, this is goofy to bring it up. We talked about it before when this first came out. But Corky from Life Goes On, being an actor is not easy. You have to remember all your fucking lines and shit, and they're not building an entire show around you if you can't do that. He's like one of the most famous people with Down syndrome ever, probably, and was clearly able to do that, but we have this perception that those people just can't handle anything.
Well,
you know what I mean?
for me personally, like why I brought it up on that other show was I wanted to make sure they could make their own decisions and be fine with being sexualized and all that other stuff. Because Victoria's Secret in particular, I mean, times have changed now, obviously, with internet porn and everything else.
They've got a pretty long track record of taking advantage of women now.
Right.
Like big time.
And so you never know. And that's why I wanted to ask you personally about it, because I had chatted about it on another show, and I just wasn't sure. I even made Bob pull up interviews of her to see how she spoke and was answering questions. Most of them were simple one-word answers, and I was like, man, I don't know, and I can't tell if that person's able to make their own decisions and is cool with being sexualized or being viewed in the way that they're being viewed. I think you mentioned it earlier with your social media in particular, because you do post about her a lot. I'm sure people come up to you in public and ask for photos and all that stuff. Has she ever said no?
Yes. Most of the times, yeah, she says no.
And
She doesn't really understand what's going on. Like, she doesn't have a concept of social media and that there's millions of people following me and know who she is or anything. So she just thinks it's a person that she doesn't know that wants to take a picture with her, So I will say this, back on her interviews with kind of the simple yes or no answers that you were discussing. So Nate, if you've seen Nate is very articulate and very funny and very off the cuff. But when you get him in front of like a camera and have somebody interviewing him, they are also one-word answers. He just kind of clams up a little bit and it's just yes, no. But if you get him just hanging out and we're having fun and you put the camera in his face and he's being silly, super articulate, and you can tell he's very independent. So it's hard to base off those interviews that she did to say whether she's, somebody that's incapable of making decisions on her own or not.